I was telling you about the metaphor. One more example I'm giving you here. Her long hair was a her long hair was a flowing golden river. Her hair here given the comparison in a hidden way. Here they have just given the comparison as or like, they haven't used the word. Here we have given the word, that word comparison. Long hair with the flowing golden river. Her hair was golden and it was flowing in a river. So here we have used the metaphor. Number third is personification. Personification means that gives human traits and quality such as emotions, human traits and qualities. We will just human traits and qualities, non-living thing, which shows the what emotions, desire, speech often by way of a that is called a what personification. So here I'm just giving you, it means the non-living thing are just behaving like the human qualities, that was such as emotions, desires, speaking is there, speech are there. So they are when behaving like human beings, they have the human traits, they are just behaving like the what human being, that is called personification. For example, the sun smiled at us. The sun smiled at us. Ever sun smile at us? No. But here the sun, it's a, for us it is non-living, but it is smiling. It's behaving like a human traits. It means non-living thing behaving like the living thing. That is called, when the non-living thing are behaving like the living things, that is called the word personification. One more example I'm giving you here. The wind howled in the night. The wind howled in the night. So here the word, the wind is just what it is, just also behaving like living thing. Howl, who is just howling, it is a sound produced by the wolf and any animal. So wind is howling, that it means the non-living thing to the living thing, we are just what it is just describing that was as a human traits or qualities, that is called personification. Next is there number 4, that is called transferred epithet. Transfer epithet means when an adjective usually used to describe one thing is transferred to another. When an adjective used to describe one thing is transferred to another, we can say to, that was what we, when the human feelings is transferred to non-living. Human feelings are transferred to non-living. Transferred to what? That is non-living thing. Simple meaning is there. Transfer epithet means when the human feelings are just transferred to non-living things. Here we have transferred the non-living things to living things. Here the human feelings are transferred to non-living thing. Example I am giving you here. I had a terrible day. I had a terrible day. Here we can't say today a terrible. We can't say a day to terrible. But here we have just human feelings. We have just make the non feelings are there. It's a terrible. But today we have just make the what live here. Lively here. So it is called the transfer epithet. When the human feelings are just transferred to non-living things, that is called transfer epithet. Next is number 5. These are the, that is apostrophe. Apostrophe means Apostrophe is a when a character in a literary work speaks to an object, any that was an idea or someone who does not exist. If it is a living person, the thing that is not existing, but we are also what just describe what we are just making that we are existing for us. The thing is not existing, but what it speaks to an object and ideas or someone. Clear? Like that one. Oh Rose, how sweet you are. How sweet your smell. Oh Rose, how sweet you smell. It means here that thing is there. It is what this character is. What oh Rose. Rose is a here the character. It literary work speak to an object. It is just we are just speaking to an object in reality who doesn't exist. In reality who is not existing. Rose is not existing in reality, but we are just describing as a living person. So that is called apostrophe. One more example I'm giving you. Welcome o life. Welcome o life. One more example. Go away clouds. Go away clouds, or clouds go away. It means we are just what here this character here the clouds is character, here the life is there. We are just was speaking to an object in reality who doesn't exist. We are here the word speaking to this object or idea, not only the object, to idea also or someone also, but in reality who doesn't exist. So that is called, and it is like the for us we are just what calling them, we are speaking them as a living person. That is called apostrophe. Like Rose, Rose in reality it doesn't exist like a living person. It doesn't exist, life is not existing like a living person. Here the clouds are not but existing like a living person. But here when we will speak to a word, that one when we speaks to an object, an idea or someone who doesn't exist, that is called apostrophe. Number 6 is there alliteration. Alliteration. Alliteration here means in which a series of words begin with the same consonant letter sound. Same consonant sound, like here I am giving you the word Bingle Bog. Consonant sound should be there, not the vowel sound. A, E, I, O, U. In spite of using A, E, I, O, U, we will use the word consonant. When the writer or this literary device will use with the word consonant, same consonant letter, consonant sound, it will start from same consonant. The word will start from the same consonant sound. That is called alliteration. One more example I am giving you. 10,000. 10,000. See here the same consonant sound, it is where the word is starting from, it is started. So next one more example in a sentence I am giving you. She sells the shells on by the seashore. She sells the shells by the seashore. See, same the consonant letters are there. Shell, she sells, s, shells, then sea, then shore. Same consonant letters are there. It doesn't mean that was, it should be more. Two can be there, more than two. It can be two or more than two. So when the words start from the same consonant sound, that is called alliteration. Number 7 is there hyperbole or exaggeration. Exaggeration means excess. It means excess. We are here using the excess thing. Hyperbole means excess that uses extreme exaggeration. Extreme exaggeration is there. We are just using the extreme exaggeration. and that is called hyperbole. This is called the hyperbole, where we will see the excess, but there is the excess we will observe. The excess thing is there, that is called hyperbole. It is opposite of understatement. Opposite of understatement. I am giving you example. Like that was, my dad will kill. My dad will kill me. Kill me when he comes home. My dad will kill me when he comes home. Here I have just used that was what in reality dad will kill when he comes home ever. But what we are just what saying this words hyperbole in an excess way. We are talking in an excess way. Extreme exaggeration we have used here. We have used here extreme exaggeration. Opposite of understatement. This statement is that was what opposite. So here my dad will kill me. In an excess way we are speaking here. So this is called hyperbole. Hyper means excess way. In excess way we are speaking here. One more example I am giving you. The bag weighs ton. The bag weighs a ton. In excess way, the bag weight we have just given in a excess way. In exaggeration way, we are just saying it is extreme exaggeration here. So this is called hyperbole. This type of the word sentences we are just using the hyperbole. Number 8 is there, that is a pun. Pun is, it is a play on words, always making us confused. Pun is the word, the firstly you have to listen, that was it's a play on word where the two or more meanings are there of the same word, that is called pun. Again I'm just one more example, definition I'm giving you. It makes use of word which have more than one meaning. For example, I'm giving you example, a horse is stable. Horse is stable, where the horse lives in a stable, but stable or steady. Stable means also steady. Two meanings are there, that is called the place where the horse are kept, that is also called the stable. Where the two meanings are, two or more meanings are there in a sentence, in a word, that was of a word, that is called pun. One more example I am giving you. The tallest building. The tallest building. The tallest building in a town is the library. Is the library. It had 100 of stories. See, the tallest building in town is the library. It had 100 of stories. Story here, plots. One more word is there, story. It meant tales. Story is also the tale, and here also the floors. Ground floor, first floor, second floor. It means 100 of floors are there in that building, in the tallest building. And there we are just what giving the same word. The two or more meanings are there, that is called pun. And these are always making us confused. These stories we have used or these stories we have used. Here also, this table, the sentence is talking about, or sorry, this one is stable is talking about, and this stable is just talking about. So that is called the pun. And sometimes it is also, it gives a humorous effect. It also gives the hilarious effect or humorous effect. Like a bicycle, one more I am giving you the hilarious effect. A bicycle can't stand on its own because It is too tired. It is too. It is too tired. Here the two meaning. Here also TW2. Here also too tired, and here also two tires. In a hilarious way they are talking, because bicycle has the two tires, so it can't be stand its own. And here also the bicycle can't stand on its own because it is too exhausted. It feels exhaustion, so it also feels the exhaustion, so that can't be stand its own. Two meanings are there, and it uses always in a hilarious effect. It gives the hilarious effect in a hilarious way it uses, so that is called pun. So here is also, here is stable, two meanings are there. Two or more meanings can be there. It doesn't mean only the two meanings will be there. Two or more meanings can be there. So it will always make us confused which meaning they are just talking about. One more is there. Next one is there. That is irony. We are just talking about the irony. Next figure of speech is irony. Irony is what is written on stated is different from the opposite of what is expected. So how? For example, a fire station burns down. See, the fire station work is to what protect us from the fire. When the fire station burns down itself, then how can they save us? It is opposite. What that is a different from the opposite of what is expected. We are expecting from the fire station they save us, but what if the fire station burns down? Then who will save us? It is so. It is written or stated is different from the opposite of what is expected. One more example I am giving you here. That is, the police station gets robbed. The police station, police work is to what save us from the robbery. But when we expect from the police, to save us. But when they are robbed by someone, so how can they save us? What we are expected, but it is opposite. In a that is different. So it is opposite at the time what we are expecting. That is called irony. It is in a comment way. We are giving the commenting. We sometimes give the irony. It means give the comments of that. So that is called irony. Next is oxymoron. Oxymoron means in which two opposite words or ideas join to create an effect. Two words. Suppose I am giving you example, original copy. Two words are opposite to each other. Original opposite meaning is copy, but we will give, it gives the effect in a sentence. That is called oxymoron. It is made up of two or more words that seem to be opposite to each other. It always use together. It use together in a sentence in a effective, and meaning is there of that word. These words always use together and they are opposite to each other. That is called oxymoron. One more example. There was dark light inside the room. So here the dark opposite word is light, but here it gives the effect. It create an effect. They join together. The opposite words are joined together, but here it gives the what effect in a sentence. It is made up of two or more words that seem to be opposite to each other at the time. That is called oxymoron. These are called oxymoron. One more example I am giving you. Suddenly the room was filled with deafening silence. Deafening silence silence, what that is they are giving the opposite of that. So this is the word. Here we are using the oxymoron. When the two words that is opposite to each other but it create effect in a meaning, that is called oxymoron. Next is called paradox. Paradox means it is statement that contradict itself. This statement always contradict itself. It always contradict at the time. It is statement that contradict itself or that must be both true and untrue at the same time. For example, save money by spending it. Save money by spending it. Contradicting ideas are there. Here it contradicts itself. Here also using the same money and here also spending. So these sentences, what these ideas are, what contradicting itself, must be both true or untrue at the same time. It can be true or untrue. So this is called the paradox. The difference between oxymoron and paradox, in oxymoron we are using the two opposite meaning together and it creates effect here. But here that can be idea. The idea is just what contradicting itself. The meaning, the opposite word we can't use together here. But the ideas, it gives the ideas here. What when it the sentence is contradicting itself, these words are contradicting itself, that is called paradox. Save money by spending it. Save opposite spending. So this sentence is what contradicting itself. That this type of call the sentences are called paradox. One more example I am giving you. Deep down you are really shallow. See, deep down, deep opposite is shallow, but here we are not using these opposite words together here, but here in the sentence what in which two opposite ideas are not joining, and they are what that is contradicting itself. Contradicting means opposite to each other. They are opposite to each other, and in that was it contrasts the ideas. It contrasts the ideas. So that is called paradox. Last is there, that is antithesis. Antithesis means two opposite ideas in a sentence for a contrasting effect. Again I am repeating this, two opposite ideas in a sentence for a contrasting effect. So here opposite ideas, sentiments to show contradicting effects. Like what that was example I am giving you here. Many are called, but few are chosen. Many are called. See here. So don't do the that was similarity. That was one difference I will tell you later. Firstly, listen the definition here. Many are called, but few are chosen. So here it is that statement which gives us two opposite ideas are there. Many are called and few are, that two sentences, two opposite ideas in a sentence for a contrasting effect. It is giving the what opposite effect there. Effect is opposite. Here many are called, but they are giving the what here, the opposite ideas they are giving, and effect is what opposite to first sentence. The effect is many are called, but here the effect is few are chosen. So here they are just using the what, the antithesis. Anti means the opposite. So here the sentence used here, they are also contradicting to each other. First is sentence is what it gives the effect to the second sentence is affecting to the what first one. So it is opposite here. Like God proposes